Welcome back, YouTube. Chris again. Ellie's here with me. And for this video, I wanted to just kind of go through my existing portfolio to date. As I had mentioned, one of the purposes behind having this channel is to build upon my portfolio, to see my work grow and change as I go down this road of trying to be a video production company and gain work in the film world in some sort of capacity. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and run through what I've done so far so that everything is recorded and here for you. I'm going to play snippets of the videos, but not the whole videos because I don't have permission to use someone else's videos. Even though I worked on them, my name isn't credited on any of it because they were work for hire, the whole client privilege thing. So I'll just run through it and I'll talk about it as much as I can. So first up was the very first video I worked on. It was literally day one of my schooling through the RRFC program. It was doing a video for Sputter Components. They are a company in Owatonna, Minnesota. That was about 90 minutes south of the Twin Cities. And I can't show anything of it for that video because it's not available on the internet for public consumption. The second video that I worked on was for a company called BioSafe. It was one of their client profile, grower profiles. So BioSafe, they're this company, they make biologically safe products for farmers. Not quite pesticides, but along in that line. It's products that you can spray onto your crop to help keep rot and mold away. Not so much bugs, but the rot and the mold especially. So for this one, we had to go out to Perham, Minnesota, which it's about 3 hours northwest of the Twin Cities. Not quite to Fargo, North Dakota, but that was only like another 30 minutes away. It's out there. So it was Toad River Farms was the company we were doing the profile for. And since this was my first real shoot that I had gotten some experience and I kind of knew what I was doing, it had been a month since I had started the program. This was the first time where I really had fun. My role, again, was just a basic production assistant, but for this one I also got to be the boom operator, and that was a ton of fun. So in addition to being the gopher and kind of running around getting pieces of equipment, swapping out things of equipment, helping get the audio set up, hold the boom, get all the people positioned, I also got to do my first attack at editing. I would kind of say I was just an assistant editor for this one. So basically, someone else went in and edited up the interviews and created streamlined interview segments. And then I went in and I pieced apart those interviews and created a story. And then I went and I took all the B-roll in, and Travis at ProVid Films, he told me to just cover the whole thing, cover every single piece of interview with B-roll to try to get myself in that feeling of pulling in B-roll and matching it to create some kind of story and to make it look really nice. And after I had done that, the main person, who's actually another RRFC graduate, she had come in and basically she pulled down bits of the B-roll so that it would be B-roll interview, but most of it is mostly my work. She went through and just timed it so that you could bounce between interview and B-roll more fluidly. She also moved around a couple of pieces and finalized it. So assistant editor, boom operator, production assistant. I really like this video. It's a company video. It is what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and play a little bit of it right now, and there will be a link in the description to the full video.
My name is Mark Dombeck with Toad River Farms at Perham, Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. Homesteaded by my ancestors in 1875. And we've been adding on to it since then.
We grow kidney beans, dry edible beans, corn, alfalfa, some soybeans, and also have 300 dairy cows.
All right, and the third video that I got to work on with Travis at ProVid Films it was another like client profile, just like the BioSafe, but this was for a company called Riviere Finance. Their client was a local company called Lockheed International, not to be associated with Lockheed Martin, Lockheed International. It's just this guy who his whole specialty is helping veterans who are out of the service and helping them transition to a civilian job. Riviera Finance is like just this company that provides capital into the company, I guess you could say, before the bills come, so that you're never waiting for the company's not waiting for money from their clients to pay their bills. Riviera Financial comes in, gives them money so they can pay their bills while they're waiting for their clients to pay them, kind of like a stopgap. So that was a really, really neat video, and I think it actually turned out pretty good too. This was another one that I assisted the editing on, as well as doing production assistant Gopher, helping set up the lights, set up the audio, attach microphones, all that stuff. For this one, I believe I mostly did the interview segments. All the B-roll was added in by Travis's main editor, but I went through and I pieced together the interviews, stripped them out, and created the story. Here's a couple seconds of that video.
If we hadn't been lucky enough to partner up with Riviere Finance, we certainly wouldn't have been able to open up an office in San Antonio, and even more so, about 30 or 40 veterans since then would not have found their careers that they currently sit in, because we just wouldn't have been able to stay open. Good morning, my name is John Hanka, the CEO and founder of Lockheed International. We are the only placement organization in the entire Midwest that works exclusively in the military community.
I was in the Marine Corps for 22 years. I retired as a Sergeant Major. I came to Lockheed because I heard that was the place to go to if you're looking for an occupation, if you're looking for employment, and you have some time as a military veteran.
Okay, so the fourth person, this is less of just a single video as it was a whole series of videos. This was a super, super fun project. It was for this woman named Mary Cole. She was a book editor for like big book publishing. She did children's books. She even has her own book, Understanding Kidlit or something like that. It's in the videos, you'll see, where she is basically instructing writers, you know, how to fine-tune their process for kid literature. Anyway, so she decided to start out on her own and created her own company called the Good Story Company. And it's that same kind of focus, except not just for children's books, but for everyone. If you want to write YA novels, horror fiction, historical fiction, she provides all these training classes and tools to help you go through your process and think, am I doing the best? Am I making the right choices for the story, or for this character, or for that character? I kind of did like the production assistant work, but it was very minimal, because what made this one unique was she came to our studio. So instead of us packing up everything and going to wherever the client may be, she came to our studio. So I helped Travis, you know, set up the lights and get everything going. And she came in for 2 days in a row. And then like a month later, she came back in for another 2 days in a row. So it was less setting up and setting down. So my main role for these videos was the editor. Like literally, like we would shoot the first video, Travis would run the video over to the computer, upload it, and then go back and start recording the additional videos that she had. We did something like, I want to say something like 10 training classes. It was a good 8 or 9 hours of content, like post-editing content. And so I would just sit at the computer and work on editing it, adding infographics, taking the PowerPoint slides that she had, cutting between the two different camera angles to try to keep the video lively and deliver all the information she was trying to deliver. On the YouTube channel, there's a bunch of videos on there, and I can't remember which ones I all did, but I know that most of the training classes that she recorded that I worked on the editing for were actually behind a paywall. So I did the very first YouTube introductory video, and then there was a basic what readers want training video that was more of an intro that didn't really get into the hardcore training she did later that she has on her public YouTube page. So I'm just going to go ahead and play a little bit of both of those now.
Hi, my name is Mary Cole. You may know me from Kid Lit and marycole.com. I've been in the publishing industry for over 10 years. Teaching, speaking to writers. You may know my book, Writing Irresistible Kidlit, out from Writer's Digest. Hello, my name is Mary Cole. Welcome to my class, What Readers Want. So in today's class, we are going to talk about what readers want, spoiler alert, it is to care, then how to make readers care. We'll talk about objective and motivation in your character and characters to care about. A lot of readers really enter a story through the focal point of character, and so nailing that character, really getting that connection going is huge for engaging that reader.
Okay, the last two projects that I worked on with Travis, I didn't really have too much of a hand on. It was actually, these were done after I finished graduating at the end of December. So these were actually paid gigs. Yay! So I was brought on just as a basic role of production assistant. The first one was to record an interview for the Protect Minnesota campaign, which is this big gun control coalition headed up by a local reverend out of St. Paul. Really wonderful people. I had done a bunch of editing on these projects before, but I had never been on site because this is a project that Travis had been working on since before I started the program, and he still was working on it after I left the program because they just really liked what he was doing and wanted more and more. Like some of the things they took, there's a bunch of different testimonials. So he made a bunch of videos that was for each testimonial. And then they made this one giant video that was all the testimonials. And one thing that I went in and did was I went and made 30-second commercials that used bits of all the testimonials. So basically I took like the big giant massive video and cut them up into 30-second commercials. I couldn't find any of those online or anything. They're probably just not ready for it. But that was really neat. And the other one that was a paid gig after I graduated that Travis was gracious enough to give me was for this company called Avid Edina. They're a 55-plus apartment complex. So it's not a retirement home. It's not assisted living or anything like that. It's just a normal apartment complex, but you have to be 55 or older. For this, I was just a production assistant, and this was actually a very simple shoot in terms of being a production assistant. The whole thing was done over the course of 2 days with Travis using a gimbal to record B-roll. For 2 days, that was it. It was just B-roll. We set aside 1 hour on the first day to do the interviews, and that was really where I got to come in and help and set up lights and audio and monitor the B cam and stuff like that. But otherwise, it was while he's shooting the B-roll, if he needed, let's get, he has these little stick lights, run out to the car, grab the stick light so that we could light something better and make something look really cool. We shot a bonus interview that the client company didn't ask us to do, but while we were there shooting all the interviews, we decided, hey, Gabby, who is the director, come on in, let's shoot a video, shoot an interview of you. So one of the things that we did after we got back to the studio on day 2 is I went through and I edited together her interview, added music, and gave it all the bells and whistles as kind of like a bonus video for them, because they didn't ask for it. In the final promotional video, they did actually use a clip from the interview with Gabby, so that was really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of that video real quick. This is a scene where they're showing off the feeder room that they have. If you look in the very front row, you'll see someone with a black hat and some khaki pants with their feet up, dead center. That's me.
It's a healthy, it's an active environment, and we have a sense of community here. and the people are very friendly.
Here we have exercise classes, we have yoga, we have mahjong. I mean, the list of things to do is very vast.